Well, good evening everybody and welcome to the channel. I want to get on here tonight and talk about a mod fail. A few days ago I posted up a video about a mod I was going to do to the front end of the Corvette, which is behind me here. Specifically, you guys can see right here, this braces piece, I'll call it. Now, I call it that because to me, the front end of the Vette looks like it's wearing braces, you know? It's got this silver, chrome, whatever you want to call it, piece on the front. And it just reminds me of people that wear, or that I've seen, wearing braces, you know? Just this copper thing right across the front of their mouth. That being the mouth of the Corvette, of course. So, I started looking and I found a place on the web that sold vinyl strips. Now I thought it was really similar to window tint. You know, window tint doesn't have any adhesive on it. It's basically held on by a thin film of water when they put on, and then it dries out and it sticks to the windshield or the window. Yeah, it could be on the windshield too. But there's no adhesive, at least as far as I know. So I thought about painting it. And I thought, you know, I'm really not much of a painter kind of guy. So I thought these vinyl strips looked pretty cool. I saw the guy do it. And his install looked pretty easy, pretty slick. Not like it took a lot of skill, right up my alley, to do. So I ordered these pieces. I ordered two different flavors, if you will. I ordered this kind of gloss black, which would match the gloss black on the front of the car. And then I ordered this faux looking carbon fiber kind of thing, right? So my thinking was I'd pick the one that I probably wasn't going to use, and in this case, carbon fiber, and give it a try and see how it went on. That way, if I screwed this up trying to get it on, it's not the one I was going to use anyway, right? So I'm gonna get a light and I'm gonna move you guys down here and show you something about this grill that I think is a little bit different from the grill that the guy I was watching was installing this on. So let me grab a light and I'll show you. All right, so we're down here looking at the piece, and again, the piece I'm talking about is this chrome looking strip that runs all the way across the whole front end of the car. And if you look over here on the left, and I think this is where the difference is between the install that I was watching being done as opposed to the one that I was trying to do on my car. And I'll zoom you in here, hopefully. If you look on the edge, it's just kind of rounded. And what you're supposed to do is take this strip, which is here, and just kind of put it around the chrome piece here, kind of wrap it around, and then tuck it under at the top and tuck it under at the bottom and then tuck it in on the side. You can see it's a pretty good idea. This stuff, I will tell you, let me back you off a little bit. Oops. There we go. Is sticky. There is a sticky component to this. You guys can see that. I didn't realize that when I had gotten it. Not a big deal. So anyway, I stuck it on this this trim piece, and I noticed here, if you guys can see, let me zoom you back in on that. If you notice here, it's not uniform in size like this all the way across. It goes down, you can see here, to a thinner piece in the middle until it marries up with the other side. Now the problem with that is this stuff is a certain width and obviously is wider than if you, when you put it all the way around this, than it is over here. That was problem number one. So as I was saying, that was the first problem. The tape was actually wider than the piece I was going to put it on once you get to that middle section. So you would have had to trim it, cut it, I don't know. But you couldn't just merely wrap it around like the video showed. And again, I think that's because the model they were doing, probably a model year older, I'm not sure, was a uniform thickness all the way around the front of the car. So that didn't work very well. As you can imagine, when you put this stuff on and you go to a thinner area than this, it started to bunch up as you would fold it over. And there's not enough glue, stickiness, tackiness, whatever you want to call it, to hold this down. Just the pressure from it trying to fold back out because of that thinner, more narrow section, it wouldn't hold. Even when I tried to force bends in it with the little tool I was using. And in case any of you guys want to try to tackle this, the tool is it's a Bondo spreader, I don't know, whatever you want to call this thing, but it's for Bondo on cars. And I thought, you know, it's flexible, so it wouldn't damage anything, but it had a sharp enough point on it, if you will, sharp enough edge, that I'd be able to tuck it under there real well. It didn't matter. That didn't work either. Now, the second issue that I had is that chrome piece is really two pieces. They meet in the middle, and then there's a seam, if you will. See if I can show you that, so you know what I'm talking about. There is a seam right here, right there. So if you go to put that stuff on, you then would have to try to tuck it into that seam. And the seam, of course, is in the narrower section, so you would really have to trim that down. It just didn't fit well. So I was unable to do it. I got probably the side on, but the side where it's thicker on the left, but it just wouldn't accommodate the thickness of that material once you got to that section where it goes down and meets in the middle. The other issue is it just wouldn't stick. Even in the wider section, once I got it on and trying to tuck it down, you know, behind and under, it still wouldn't stick. It was even popping up in the middle, off of the edges. So I can only imagine, even if you did get this stuff on, it wouldn't last very long because it doesn't adhere in the middle. It's a great idea, and I think it would work really well. Maybe, you know, if it was trimmed a little bit differently or even set up, you know, maybe with a tackier glue or something more permanent maybe, to hold it on to that chrome piece. I don't know. And I did clean it with rubbing alcohol, by the way, to get any contaminants or dirt or whatever off of it. So it wasn't because I was trying to adhere it to a part that wouldn't accept the glue or had dirt or something on it or whatever. It just didn't work for me. So I didn't even attempt to put the other side on because it was just such a horrid experience. Frustrating is probably a good word. That I didn't even try to do the other side because I think it's a fail. It's a big fail for me as far as trying to mod that piece to get it black. As a side note, that chrome piece does move. If you grab it, you can move it up and down. It even feels like you can move it just a touch left or right, but you can definitely move it up or down. So it is some sort of snapped in piece. Unfortunately, it looks like once you snap it in, unless you can somehow squeeze it together in the middle to be able to pull it out, you can't pull it out. Because I would have done that and even tried to cover it with this stuff and then put it back in. I could have tucked it way underneath the bottom and then snapped it back in, and that would have held well, except again where it pulls up in the center on top of that piece. So this was a big fail for me. Very disappointing. It looked like a great option, great alternative to painting. But unfortunately, it seems to me that if you want to do anything with that, or if I want to do anything with it, probably going to have to be painted. haven't really decided on whether I want to try to accomplish that or not. Painting the front end of a brand new Corvette, doesn't sound like something that a non-professional should do. I'm not quite sure how it would come out, and then the paint would have to be perfect because it would need to match the rest of the trim work there. And by the way, that paint is not just a flat black. That paint has some sort of metallic, or not paint rather, the plastic trim that's there has some sort of a metallic or speckled component to it. So it's not just flat black, and neither is this, and I don't know if you can, or glossy black, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully this comes out okay, but there is a speckly component, and they did do a good job in matching that. This stuff really does match perfectly to the trim that's on the car. It just doesn't work very well to put it on. Anyway, just wanted to get on here and show you guys that. I had made a video about modding the braces on the front of the Corvette, and again, for me, it was a big fail. So, on to other things. I may set it out in the sun, let that piece warm up a bit, and see if I can't get it to come out. I'd feel much more comfortable painting that if it was not on the car. Somewhere where I could lay it out on a table, a bench, or whatever, and paint it properly. That I wouldn't have a problem doing. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please click subscribe if you haven't before. Hit that like button once in a while. And let me know if you have any ideas, or if you've heard of some sort of a replacement piece for that that doesn't involve painting. Or if you know of a way to get it off without disassembling the whole grill. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a good night. Bye.